everyone, welcome to a new episode. Today I want to get back to learning more about all the different kinds of individuals who helped lay the groundwork for this crypto space that we are in right now. So today let's take a look at the man who helped develop and spread the philosophy behind open source software. So let's get into it. Before I dive into Richard Stallman, or RMS as he's known in the hacker world, there is one thing I need to clarify. So in my intro, I said that he helped to develop and spread the philosophy of open source software. But I should really remedy that terminology and instead say that he helped spread free software. Now, if you're not sure what the difference is, keep watching because we're about to learn a lot about Richard's philosophy and strongly held beliefs on terminology and its implications. So Richard Stallman's first experience working with computers happened when he was in high school, when he spent a summer working at IBM in 1970. He then attended Harvard and obtained a bachelor's degree in physics. He also attended MIT, where he focused on computer programming. Richard has always had a strong belief in the human right to freedom. And in this increasingly technological world, Richard has always made it a point to work towards providing free software. His first big undertaking was to create the completely open source operating system called Canoe. He designed it to be similar to Unix, a previously existing operating system, except Canoe is completely free software. Now this means that it gives the users full control over everything in it, which is quite the contrast to the other operating systems that the majority of us use today, like Microsoft and Mac OS, where a company controls the software, which ultimately controls the users. Now, I found a great interview conducted by David Pakman where Richard explains his views on these types of software programs. I'll include a link down below, and I really encourage you to check it out to get a better sense for Richard's passion on this subject. Now, during this interview, he has some great quotes, like, "We should control the programs we use and not vice versa." Now, he explains how every program is either free or proprietary. If a program is proprietary, it is a tool that the proprietor, usually a company, can use to ultimately subjugate its user base. He and his team have worked for decades so that now there are computers you can buy that have free software already installed. You don't have to be an expert to take part and support the free software movement. You don't have to be a slave to proprietary programs. He also goes on to explain how non-free software programs today, like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and even Adobe, intentionally have installed malicious functionality and backdoors, and it lets them remotely control it whether you like it or not. And also they have digital restrictions management, or DRM, which means it's designed to refuse to do the things that you want with the data that you get. He says that these are all injustices. The free software movement makes it a point to bring these injustices to light. Now, with free software, the contributors to that free software do not control what their users can do and not do. Users can always check to see what the contributors have done. They can compare the versions, and if the users don't like something, they can change it. I know this latter statement sounds like an awful lot like what open source code is all about, but here's how Richard sees a big difference between the free software movement and the open source movement. This concept of open source ultimately separates the free software from its philosophical motivations. It doesn't bring to light the negatives of proprietary software, and it's a less abrasive way to go about promoting free software. Now, he calls open source a superficial term that doesn't raise the ethical issues, and he even goes as far as refusing to attend events that use that term. Now, if you couldn't get the hint with his views on the phrase open source, Richard places a lot of weight on the specific words used. He recognizes a word's ability to imply connotations and how they can place barriers on intelligent conversations on certain topics. Now, if you think that sounds extreme, welcome to the world of RMS. Now, whether or not if you agree with his views on the subject, you've got to admit it's an admirable quality to stay intently true to one's beliefs. So if you want to learn more about Richard Stallman or the free software movement or completely free software operating system that is Canoe, please check out the links I posted down below. That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this, if you learned something, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe to get your daily fix of all things crypto.